Hello, and welcome to this second hour recap podcast. My name's Craig. This is Richard.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it been? What have you been playing, watching, etc.?
Well, I've been not been too bad. I've not really been watching out anything, so I've actually started playing World of Warcraft Classic, and I just want to shout out to my guild on the Rixian Warlords, the Owls. We actually managed to take down Naxxramas over the weekend, which is pretty cool. Go
Oh,
guys!
cool.
What
Diet,
about yourself?
me? Oh, well, I've been playing Outriders, which we'll
Yeah,
delve further into another video. The usual stuff, WandaVision. That's it. Pretty busy
well,
week, really.
cool. Yeah, speaking of which, yes, I did catch up on WandaVision, which we'll discuss shortly.
Well, no.
No, now.
Yeah, WandaVision, good episode. I thought getting towards the end of the series, which is a shame because I'm digging it.
I'm still on the fence, but I enjoy watching it.
Oh no, I like it every week again. It's a good
I
episode.
I often admit that this one got me more intrigued, but the other episodes I was like, okay, I could take this or leave it. But it's getting a bit better. I mean, like I said, it's getting near the end, so they need to like start wrapping up the action and bringing the story together.
Yeah. I think the best thing about it is though, because it's been over 10 years of MCU, and
Mm.
it's the first, well, not the first time, but it's mostly been superheroes, battle suits. There's the lack of magic, apart from
Mm.
Doctor Strange, has been a nice change, which will
Yeah,
obviously change again for the next series, Winter Soldier.
that's aye, which is something I'm looking forward to. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I kind of grew up in the '80s, so I kind of like this buddy cop kind of thing. But we'll see. Me trailers could say show one thing, and suddenly you to watch it, you're like, huh, this isn't what I was thinking. But okay. But yeah, I think the reason they've gone for magic is because at the time Fox and Disney weren't exactly owned by by one, so they had to use the word magic instead of the word mutant. I think. As you
Mm,
think about it.
I'm not sure if it's just pot luck for them, but how they've described the new origin for Wanda being a mutant with the because before when the Stark bomb missile landed in their
Mm,
house and it just
yeah,
didn't go off. That was it. It was just a bit of pot of luck. But now they're
yeah,
saying Wanda cast a spell.
yeah. Kind of like a hex kind of thing to
Yeah,
stop it from blowing up.
probability hex. That's
Yeah,
called.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's the one. Yeah, probably X. Which, yeah, I could see because I'm not even sure if they even briefly mentioned that in Age of Ultron, but still, yeah, I can see where they're going with it. Uh, I mean, yeah, again, I want to see how this series ends. I've got a few theories, but I don't know.
Um, that was a cool moment when she was exposed to the Mind Stone and she had
Oh yeah,
like a well a vision of herself
yeah,
in full Scarlet Witch gear.
yeah. I noticed that little clipping when they were trying to play it back. She just dropped
Yeah,
off.
I thought, oh,
But it was like weird. But that's the thing, though. But the Mind Stone, is she a living Infinity Stone? Right, that's what I'm thinking about because as you see later on in the episode, which we'll probably touch up on shortly, she's got that power to manipulate minds, especially when she created the hex. So maybe that's why her powers were so dormant because she was originally from the Mind Stone, and maybe going back in time has created some kind of. Well, I don't want to be controlled by Thanos anymore. So I'm going to take all this body. Something like that. You never know. So,
um,
and then, yeah, I think that scene was cool, but it kind of gives you a wonder why did the Mind Stone act that way? Because it shattered and showed its true self to her, and then
yeah,
he's like, and then when they tried playing it back, it was like she just dropped on the floor. Well, okay,
with the Mind Stone still intact as well.
yeah, yeah, which was. It'd be nice if you see if what would have happened on that video clip. I was looking back at it just to see if it actually like time jumped, like skipped from when she went in, and then suddenly like 10 seconds later, it jumped when she was on the floor, but it didn't do anything like that. And it was like, oh, okay. So,
Um, it's a very nice scene. I know people have also commented on it. When Vision tries to comfort her, they sat on the bed. He goes over to
right, yeah,
she's watching Malcolm in the Middle.
yeah.
But there was a small section where he tries to console her, and she's like, she don't look like she likes it, and he just gives this look as though shit, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And that was just when they were getting together, wasn't it, in the Avengers compound? And you can see the character art, but what if, right? This is what I'm been thinking about. What if she be there controlling the Mind Stone, she's also controlling Vision's mind?
I suppose it could be a thing because she doesn't know how to control her powers for the hex and
Yeah.
the people.
So it would actually could be funny if it actually that twist happens, and if it does, sorry viewers, I really didn't mean to ruin it. So, but we don't know because I've not read the Marvel comics. I don't know if they're following a certain comic arcs. I know they tried to do it in some films, like Iron Man 2 with the Demon in a Bottle, I think they called it, where Tony's going through depression and alcoholism, which kind of what he does in Iron Man 2, but not with the alcohol, you know. But it would be interesting to see how this episode is going to pan out because it's the final episode.
Well, it's supposed to follow the House of M, which is a big storyline. I've not read it myself, but
yeah, I don't know because as you can see behind me,
yeah.
I've rarely read any Marvel comics. It's something I just wasn't shown to when I was younger. So even the movies, I didn't really get into them. It's weird. But
the end scene. We'll probably end it on this. The end scene was a bit creepy with White Vision.
Yeah, is white is that representing just a husk? You know, because white is blank. It's like just plain. I mean, you just see him switching on, but you don't see him interact. You just see like he's looking at his. So it's like if it looks like he's someone new, or is he going to remember the old memories? I've got a little prediction that might happen, but I don't know if it will. Is that there's going to be some kind of showdown, and Wanda's going to merge the Vision she knows into that body, so she can actually keep him alive. I wonder if that's how they're going to play out the resurrection.
That'd be interesting. I could see that as well. But I've read in the comics, the old comics, that when the White Vision does come back, he's just Vision but with no memories, no feelings.
Yeah, like a husk. Yeah. So it's like a blank slate, which, as you saw in when she cast the hex, after literally losing everything, she lost her partner. She doesn't even have a house because there's nothing there. It's a blank slate because it's just you can build your house on.
Yeah.
And so that's when she just lost it, and that's when the hex came. And then, as you saw, and I might add, when she made Vision, he was yellow and coming out around here. So he was coming. Oh no, coming out of the chest. Sorry, for love. Right, but he was yellow. And what color is the Mind Stone?
Yellow.
Yeah. So this final showdown, it could be that it could she could find a way to transfer the Vision she knows into the husks to create Vision again, which kind of goes against killing characters. But you know, superhero comics and films, they always kill off a character and bring them back.
Oh, that's a bit of a cliche for comic books.
Yeah, but let's just hope they don't do Iron Man or as it loses impact.
I'm hopefully, well, no doubt we'll see Monica Rambeau again.
She was teased on last episode before this one, and it's like, well, where is she? And she was Pietro, wasn't she, as well? But is this the real Pietro, or is this the
Pietro in it? Fake Pietro, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's just a golem. I think the whole reason they used Evan Peters is because the MCU just trolled us all. That's it.
Probably, but let's just say he did play a better Quicksilver than what Aaron did.
Yeah, he has some funny moments in the X-Men films.
I was watching it back recently, and cause you can watch them on YouTube, and just watching that clip with "Sweet Dreams are made of you," and it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. He's like, "Sweet dreams," and then he's just dashing around. It's like, yeah, that's how you do it. I hope the Flash movie learns from this.
Oh God, I'm looking forward to that one at all. Yep, that's all I've got to say about WandaVision this week. Good episode. Can't wait for the finale.
Aye, let's see how it ends.
Sad it's going to end actually. Oh well.
Some of us aren't.
Anyhow, our next story is Anthem 0.0 because they've cancelled it.
Oh, rest in peace, Anthem, eh? Well, last time I played Anthem was when it came out in 2019, and I think I took a week or so off work to even play this game. Man, kind of disappointed actually when I think about it. What could I say about Anthem that was good?
The flying.
Yeah, that was the good bit. Yeah, I admit that was the good bit in it. Combat, I also said was pretty fun, especially when you slam down and just open up with your guns and my shields and the big hulky kind of javelin I was in. Can't remember the name of that.
You felt powerful.
Yeah, you really thought you could take damage, which is rarity in these kind of live service games. I'm looking at you, Destiny.
Destiny, you're just a humanoid. There's no, I guess, some fancy armor, but the armor in Anthem's like proper bulked out.
Yeah, I admit, especially like I said, because I often play the tanky characters in these kind of live service games, and having that javelin was like, oh yeah, come at me, bro. And just any other javelins. I mean, you had like the caster one, which was built mainly for the elemental damage. And when I was last playing that back in 2019, don't know what they were like now. Some people could just do some crazy amount of damage. I was like, wow, I'm taking it. You're dishing it. This is how it should be. Yeah, but the story was a bit. I can't even remember it.
No.
that was so bad.
Forgettable.
And then, yeah, very forgettable. And there wasn't any choices like you would get from a BioWare game. It felt like it was like we'll take this bit of the pie and this bit of the pie, we'll merge them together, but people only wanted this bit of the pie. They didn't care about that bit. And the story felt bolted on, and which is a shame. But what do you get when you give it to a development team that purely been on single player games, and it doesn't work because it's two different player base, and it's shown in Anthem.
I think EA just wanted their own live service game for, well, microtransactions really. Even though they've got FIFA Ultimate Team, which is breaking in the cash anyway.
Yeah, that's like the most. Sorry, FIFA guys, I'm going to say this because this is what I've always said. It's just a reskin. That's all it is. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same engine, and we all know that because if you look at the Switch, it's last gen's engine as well. I'm running on that apparently. It's just reskinned. They might as well just dump in a season pass and just go, there you go. But of course, you get the initial 40 is how much is it? 70 quid or something now they're going up to? The initial £70 and then the microtransaction on top.
It's crazy.
But they also wanted to crack at Bungie with Destiny, and I think Destiny's up here right now. It's still at the top when you come to live service game. And I could see the aspect of Anthem, but what really killed it was one, the story, and two, the loading times.
And the fact that they rushed it, because the whole presentation at E3 was just, even some of the devs were surprised.
Yeah, I've watched a video on the weekend, and you read that someone went through an entire documentary on Anthem and its development time, and they said E3 was literally just rushed to for the reveal, and then it's gone through so many different directors and project leads. It's been like it's like a game they've been wanting to get from the ground up, but it's like stuck down there. And everybody that jumps on it is going to kill the career. And again, I kind of wanted Anthem not to be cancelled because I would have loved to see where they took it, especially with the combat. I mean, they could have easily just gone, right, we're doing with the story, right? If we know you guys want content, we can just do what Destiny does, just throw out an odd little dungeon every now and again, and off you go, have fun. But I think what would have been better if they were handled by the Andromeda team, because they were ones known for multiplayer.
And the BioWare team that did Anthem do Mass Effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is what it should have been. But look how Anthem went. Look how Anthem went, and how Andromeda went, which is a shame because Andromeda was actually not too bad.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Speak your mind.
I couldn't get into it compared to 1 and 2 and 3 at a push.
Well, 3 wasn't bad, but when it comes to the end, you might as well just end it there and then. It was weird. The prospect of 3 was good, but how it ended really just like it was like, oh, that's what. Oh no, that was just terrible. And Andromeda, you need to get past that first hour or two, and then it really does open up. It's just that initial start, and it's like, then they've got some really good stories, which sadly never panned out.
Well, hopefully we'll get that in the next Mass Effect.
Hopefully we get more info from whatever happens this year.
And because, well, we'll say Anthem was impacted because of COVID-19 and the desire to focus on other BioWare projects like Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So they had 30 hardworking devs who I can't imagine could have turned it around when a AAA team is, what, 90? 100?
Yeah, it's easily in the triple figures at times.
So for me, that's asking too much of that team to get to a state where it's acceptable for EA to give more money to.
Well, kudos to 30 people. I mean, honestly, you tried, and I think deep down you probably realised, no, this isn't going to happen. And it is a shame because Anthem could have been something if EA didn't feel the need to rush it and get in this cash grab business. So maybe the demise of Anthem is actually helping BioWare with, like I said, Dragon Age, which again I've not really played. I've tried Inquisition, which was number 3. I've not tried 2. I tried a little bit of Origins, but for me it was Mass Effect. When I first played the first one, I was like, yeah, this is my kind of game, and I enjoyed them all, even the ending of 3, which is questionable.
So because of Anthem's, well, Anthem is dead now. EA have said Dragon Age 4 is 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will not be a live service game now because it was going to be.
So the demise of Anthem is actually saving the rest of the world. It seems like it. So, but again, EA, I've seen must have seen a bit of light, and I also think Respawn is probably a bit of a key factor in this one too.
Well, their Jedi Fallen Order game, which is brilliant. That's a single-player linear game, which by all accounts was dead by EA a couple of years ago. Sold, I'm pretty certain it's over 10 million units now.
Oof. And then you can also play it on EA Play as well, which is which is cheap on all platforms, besides Switch, sadly. But it's it just seems to think. I just seen Respawn have kind of done some kind of like maybe they've secretly turned EA's head around. Don't know how.
I would say it's the linear experience. They've sold more units.
I mean, it's good this is happening because as much as I like playing online, sometimes I just want to kick back with a single player game.
A good story.
Aye.
Hopefully, as well, this new direction will apply to all their games, not just Dragon Age, but Mass Effect.
I mean, I'm hoping a new Mass Effect because of the tease by Mr. Covell, as we all know. So, I wonder if he's going to voice the new Shepard or whatever the main lead is, which I think would be kind of cool.
Is it actually a game or is it a TV show?
I don't know.
Film?
I don't know, but they're linking it to the game because of the little quotes that was in it. But it's quoting characters that survive Mass Effect 3. Well, depending on your choices, that is. I think canonically they all survive. And so is it going to take part after 3? So is Shepard going to be magically resurrected somehow? Because it did kind of tease that? Or are we going to get a completely new character that's going to interact with the older crew members? So we don't know.
Well, Shepard did come back magically in the second one, didn't
Well, yeah, because of Cerberus.
he? Yeah.
I don't know how he managed to survive a sort of fall from space. To have a body that's kind of revivable, but this is the future for you. They could do the same.
Yeah.
I mean, if you played 3, you probably know the end I'm talking about. So if you haven't, give it a go.
Fun fact: they've cancelled Anthem 2 years and 2 days after it launched.
Wow. A little baby only 2-year-old. Oh, that's kind of even more sad. The prospect was there. It's just, I think it needed a lot more cooking in the oven in the first year or so, and then release it instead of just rushing it out. But
Well, they delayed, didn't they? It should have come out in 2018, I think October time, September time. They delayed it till 2019, like January, February. But then
yeah,
they say they rushed it then because they wanted to make the end of tax year.
see, it's all about that for a year at the time. Maybe not now, but who knows? But yeah, I heard about that one too. I would hate to see what that build would have been like in 2018 if this is what we got in 2019. But yeah, it was end of the year tax thing, which kind of goes bad against any games that are released in January and February and March. It seems like a bad year for them. But again,
It's what it is.
yeah, it is a shame, and it's gone the way. But let's hope the demise of this has actually kicked EA in the bum, and then making them decide. Wait a minute, we need to focus on more. On that note, actually, I just read just this morning is that they've moved Criterion, the guys from Need for Speed and Burnout, onto the new
No,
Battlefield 6.
me too. That's 3 teams now on Battlefield.
Which I don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
Oh.
Because you got a team, I don't know what the other team are doing, but this Criterion are known for racing games, so we're going to be driving around in Jeeps now, are we? Just outrunning people. We're getting points for near misses.
Oh, no, I don't think it's as bad as that. I think it's going to be a case of I hope they can do what Guerrilla Games did, because they did first-person shooters, and they went to Horizon, and that's their better game, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I admit Shadowfall wasn't that good. It was kind of dull. It was one of my first games I got for PS4, but Horizon, yeah, I can see that. But I guess we'll see more when it comes to Battlefield 6. We don't even, I think there's been rumors of it going modern day again, like Battlefield 3 and 4, which I think 4 was the best one. But I guess we'll wait and see. So maybe EA are realizing maybe certain studios do have extra talents than just keeping them on one project, like Respawn.
We'll end that note on saying to that game, no more loot boxes on Battlefield. Sick of them.
Yeah, hashtag Titanfall 3. Come on.
That's a wrap for that one. Our next story is the PlayStation State of Play event. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. And out of the games that stood out is Deathloop. I am really interested in this one.
It definitely looks interesting. I mean, it's from the Dishonored guys, which are now owned by Microsoft.
Yeah. Funny enough, this is a PlayStation 5 exclusive as well. Weird.
Yeah, I think I didn't know this till recently, but the female black character who's chasing you can be controlled by a human, not AI.
Yeah, I think they're also adding that you can enable drop in, drop out kind of play as well. So, for example, say you're playing by yourself and then you're connected online, and suddenly you might think, I've just knocked out my assassin, the one that's chasing. I think his name is Julian. I'm not sure. And suddenly she might come back with a better aim, and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel like an AI to me. And then bang, you're dead, and then it goes back and loops again, which I think adds a really good element of play. I mean, they've done this in games like Dark Souls. I remember you can have people jumping in and kind of screwing your game up.
Oh.
But I think another thing that actually made me smile was the 70s intro they did to it. It really felt like a Bond film as well, which I thought was quite cool. And then, as you said, Dishonored, the abilities, is jumping about. You can plainly see it as you're jumping through windows, jumping on top of buildings, you're teleporting about. You can see the Dishonored routes.
Mm.
But this added multiplayer option, I think, is really going to spice up the gameplay a bit.
It reminds me of that sort of interaction with Splinter Cell. I can't remember which version. There was a multiplayer mode where one's a
Oh,
spy, one's a
yeah, I
killer.
seem to remember. Yeah, I remember that. That's like Spies versus Mercenaries. I think it was. I
Mm.
think.
We played that a couple of times. That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
I think it was on Chaos Theory or one of. I know it wasn't in the first Splinter Cell. I know
Mm.
that. I think it was introduced in one of the sequels. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've just got a vision of it now because I remember the Mercenary having a first-person view, and the Spy had the third-person view, and it was weird, but it was quite enjoyable.
Especially
But
the shadows. It just back then it was impressive.
oh yeah, I mean, Splinter Cell and the OG Xbox really stood out. It was either that or Metal Gear, and you're like, oh, if you want a stealth game, it was Splinter Cell.
Mm.
Funny enough.
And that's coming from a Metal
And
Gear fan.
yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like Metal Gear, but Splinter Cell did have its edge back then. Don't know what, sadly, it's an IP that
Yeah.
Ubisoft are sitting on. I don't know why,
Like so
but
many.
maybe Deathloop could have the same kind of stealth actions, but from what we've seen, it's very action orientated, and it'd be kind of annoying if you're like working your way through one of the residents to targets you, go for all his henchmen, you're finally about to knock out the boss, and suddenly your player knocks you out, and you're like, oh, come on. It's like, well, that's the way the game's going to go, which I think is kind of cool. And I know Microsoft own them soon, but will this end up coming to the Xbox, or will it be a console exclusive? But the sequel might come. We don't know.
I
But for now, I
think
think Deathloop.
I think even before they bought them, it was maybe a 1 year thing.
So it's like a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't worry, Xbox owners, you get to play it soon.
What else was up the state of play? Was Crash Bandicoot, which looks the same
Yeah, it's like,
gameplay wise.
hey, Crash 4. I've seen some people on YouTube loving the game. They've like gone through it all, got all the platinum trophies and everything like that. But it's like any other game right now. It's like, oh, we've got a brand new game that came out last year. Let's just slap 4K and do 60 hertz, 60 frames a second, sorry. And there you go, force people to play it again. It kind of goes against the point. I mean, I know there's Crash fans out there, but I've got a Series X. I do not want to buy an old game just because it supports increased frame rates. It doesn't interest me.
Me neither. I mean, it's just if you took the fancy graphics away, it's a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah, it is. They've tried to follow right after Crash 3, which again was the PlayStation 1 game. So it's Crash. Don't get me wrong, Crash is enjoyable. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that love it, which they are.
Prefer
But I'm not
Spyro.
one of them. Again, I didn't get into Spyro. It's weird. Crash or Spyro was not my forte. I think during the PlayStation era, I was playing stuff like Gran Turismo, Final Fantasy, and that I was getting into them. So to see like Crash, I was like, meh. Okay, and it was. I don't know. I can see where they're going, but is it really worth buying a PS5 for Crash 4? Crash 4, yeah, Crash.
No. Ratchet and Clank maybe, not Crash.
Yeah. Again, I think speaking of Ratchet and Clank, actually, after reading last night, is actually if you got a PlayStation account now, you can actually download Ratchet and Clank for the PS4 version, which is what came out a few years ago, for free.
Hmm.
So
Good game as well.
catch up on it. I mean, because I think this new PS5 game's a sequel to that. So yeah, go give it a go if you got a PS4.
Next on the list is Returnal. It's like a third. Was it third? I think it's a third-person roguelike game, and
Yeah.
it looks no, not for me.
I've never got into. I've got in. I won't say never. There is some roguelike games like Rogue Legacy on the Vita I enjoyed playing just because it was pick up and play. It was easy. It does look like a third person mystery sci-fi game, but again, I'm not into. roguelike to know more about it. It looked when it was revealed, it's like, oh, that looks good. So it's just a fancy tech demo for me. Okay. And then I just didn't have any interest in it. I was just waiting for that scene to end. There could be fans out there that enjoy the game. And if you are and you're watching, can you explain the appeal to roguelike games to me purely down in the comments below? I'd read them all and maybe you could recommend some I could try. But as for Returnal,
I would try Hollow Knight
well, all
or
right, okay,
or
yeah.
even Ori. They're good games. 2D though.
I've got Ori and the sequel, which is Ori Will and the Wisp and was it Blind Forest? I don't know what the sequel's called. Sorry, I've actually got them on my Xbox all installed and ready to play, but I've not actually played them. So I might have to give them a go.
Knockout City, from EA. It just gives me Splatoon vibes, and it should be a budget game.
Yeah, again, it's dodgeball. Being in the UK, did we ever play dodgeball when we were growing up? I sure didn't. So I don't know. I can understand the mass market appeal over in America because dodgeball is their forte, and yeah, I can see the the Splatoon aspect because you saw it at Nintendo's Direct as well. So as soon as I saw EA in Direct, I thought, yeah, that's going multi-platform. There's no because EA is not really dedicating themselves to the Switch. So
And
I
they
was
like
like,
money.
that's not good. Yeah. It's just one of them games where I think the audience would be on the Switch more than the actual home consoles and PC. But it's like a game that came out with, well, I think it was last year or so, called Rocket Arena or something like that. That was like jumping around on jump pads, blasting people with rockets. I can see this going the same way. It's like, yay, it's fun
Forgotten.
for the first. Yeah, it's just going to slowly drift out of people's minds. And I know it's coming from a small team. They're like dedicated to it. They want to make it fun. I can see some elements, but I'd give it a couple of months before it's like if you were trying to watch it on Twitch, you probably only see like 5 people playing it. Sorry, that's a bit too low, but it's going to be like it's like what was that other battle royale that came out that Ubisoft did? That
Hyperscape?
oh, that's it, Hyperscape. Right, that was hyped up to hell, and
Is it
it
around
looked
still?
good. Yeah, it's still around, but
Oh.
it's only like 4,000 people streaming it or something like that. So it's one of these games that you will see. It will look good, but the player base would just not be there for it.
Next on the list, Seifu. That looks pretty good.
Oh,
That martial
yeah.
arts game.
Again, that don't know much. From what I remember, it's just like fighting kung fu style down a corridor, and he's slowly going old. So he's got like this big wise beard. And if you know martial arts films and that lot, any martial art guy with a big long wig or something like that, you do not mess with him. You leave them well alone. It looks good,
Yeah.
but is it just like a rogue-like Streets of Rage maybe kind of game where you just go around beating people up, leveling up, or getting defeated, and then moving back to the beginning of the level and trying again?
It reminds me, that
But
sort of mechanic reminds me of this, I can't remember what it's called anymore. It was good back then on the iPhone, some sort of sword game. Every time you died, I think you had a son or you came back, you just had to do the same thing.
well, right, a bit like Rogue Legacy when I think about it, because you kind of like played a generation where you died, it was like someone else took over.
Oh, I ain't played
But,
that.
but I don't have an iPhone, so I have no idea about this. Whatever this game is, Android for the win. But it could be fun, but it might need to be a bit more reveal. I mean, is this a PlayStation exclusive or is this one of these multi-platforms but first reveal on the PlayStation?
It
So
didn't say exclusive to
yeah,
PlayStation, did it? So I'm assuming.
no. So it could end up being an interesting game to look out for. We just need more information. Come on, people, Sufu. Come on, show us more.
Next on the list, and one I have no interest in at all, is the new Freddy game, FAF, or whatever you call it.
For Five Nights at Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there that do this theories on it, and I'm not going to say his name. But I've got no interest in it at all. I remember the appeal of it when it first came out, 7 years ago, is it? Or maybe even earlier than that.
No
Maybe
idea.
later than that now. It was like a jump scare game, and I know there's a VR one. I know there's one on the Oculus Quest which
Oh,
you can get, which could be fun
that
because
sounds more appealing.
yeah, a first person. But again, it's like a jump scare game. I mean, the last thing you want to do is jump scare and throw a fucking Oculus controller across the room. That's the last thing you want to do. But it's a game I don't know much about, and
No,
sadly I've not been interested to try it, and I might get it on the Quest if it's cheaper. I'm not fussed about paying whatever it is right now. I think it's like £13, 23 quid or something like that.
oh no.
So now I think about it, but
Especially for a franchise you don't even know of, even want to know
yeah,
about.
I mean the last game I picked up on my Quest was that Tetris Effect, and I just sat there on the sofa just going, this is like ecstasy for my eyes. That was weird. That was weird, but but I don't know. I can see Sony jumping on this because it's kind of like aimed at a generation below us.
Hmm.
Because I remember all them YouTubers and kids just being jump scared by this, and they probably end up picking it up. But I know it's not a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I think it is actually going to be coming to PS4 as well. So, but I guess we'll find out later on.
Yep, not for me though.
No, not for me either, really.
Next on the list, I'm not particularly hyped for it either. That's Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hmm.
Again, it's having the same issue with Crash Bandicoot. It's got the mechanics of a PS1 game, but with PS5 graphics, PS4 graphics.
Yeah. I mean, Oddworld, I was there when it started back in the PS1 era, and I remember seeing the trailers in the because at the time we didn't really have the internet. We had magazines and games, TV shows showing Oddworld and Oddworld Exodus. I think it was the second one. Again, it didn't appeal to me. Yeah, I know people that love the game. They're like,
Mm.
this is something you should play. I tried it. I just sat there hitting the buttons and making them fart and burp. And that was about it. I don't know why. I was like, I can see the appeal, but I'm not fussed in it. And the first time I ever touched an Oddworld game was on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, me too. Properly.
Aye.
And then
And even
on to I think the best game in the entire franchise is Stranger's Wrath.
I mean, I know that got a HD report, port, and I think you probably get it again on the PS4 and Xbox. I'm not sure without checking, but I know it definitely got ported over on the Vita and the PS3 and 360.
Mm.
But the only reason I actually remember playing Oddworld Odyssey was because I think it was on a demo, and then Microsoft doing that deal for people that actually owned the first Xbox in the first few months. You know,
Oh, you got a couple of games on the pad, didn't you?
yeah,
I
that's
got the
the
same.
choice. Yeah, and that's. But I enjoyed it. Munch was quite a funny little character,
Mm.
hopping about and swimming about, and a lot of people didn't like it because it was more platform 3D oriented, where the original two was puzzle, which what they've done with New and Tasty, which was the remake of Oddworld, and then they've got Soulstorm, which looks like it's the same, like a remake of Abe's Exodus.
Mm.
So again,
It's got its crowd.
yeah, I know there's Oddworld players out there, but I've, I'm not one of them. And but I do know UPS5 owners are in for a treat though, because it's one of the free games that's being released in April for you if you got PlayStation Plus. So that's not so bad.
That's is that
So
like we see Game Pass.
mm,
We'll do our own thing when we can.
yeah, but I think it would be better if Sony did what Xbox Microsoft have done with the game. Microsoft got Gold and Game Pass. They kind of merged it into one, so
Yeah,
you got Game Pass Ultimate. I think Sony need to do that with PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now.
yeah,
They need to bring it together because I think PlayStation Now here in the UK it's like £10 a month, and then you got your PlayStation Plus on top of that. And even though it could coincide with the same price as Game Pass Ultimate, but Game Pass Ultimate can be shared across multiple PCs and consoles
yeah. That's
because
true.
it's got a family oriented, so one person could be playing it, and you could have like 3 or 4 different units linked to it. There you go. It just doesn't work for Sony, sadly.
It's money though, isn't
Um,
it? Microsoft
yeah,
obviously richer. Take that loss. Sony can't.
I I know. And again, back to Oddworld, is it a reason to buy a PS5? No, especially when it's on the PS4 anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's even coming to PC. as well. So
I think of Epic Game Store.
maybe yeah.
Speaking of Epic Game Store, they've got probably the rights to Kena Bridge of Spirits, which was the best game from the State of Play.
Yeah, that actually like Beyond Good and Evil standard game. You know what is? I wonder. I really hope this is overlooked like Beyond Good and Evil was on the PS2 and the Xbox and the GameCube as well. It was one of these really overlooked games which got a re-release, but we're still waiting for that sequel, which seems not
Yeah,
to never turn up. But I liked it,
yeah.
and it looks really fun. And now that Epic's got hold of it, is there any reason for me to pick up a PS5? No, not yet. So
I'm
I
not
must be quite.
sure if it's a PS4 game, but I know it's PS5, obviously. But it's coming
I've,
to Epic Game Store, and it's only £32, which is a bit
wow,
strange.
that is pretty cheap actually. Which is, I think it is a PS4 game, but I'm not 100% sure
Mm.
because most of these games are showing right now have PS4 versions, which makes sense. I mean, there's what 110 million PlayStation 4 units out there. Okay, give or take.
Yeah, that's one thing that bugs me really. There's 110 million people, they say. Okay, you've
Yeah,
sold 110 million units, but I've owned maybe 3 PS4s in my life. How many people have done that same?
I'm one of them. I've had about four when I actually think about it. I got the launch version. I ended up selling that and got the MGS5 limited edition version, which sadly is no longer with me, which I really wish it was now. And I had I've had two pros in my life. And the only reason I got a pro is because of somebody else.
Well, your decision.
And it wasn't your, it was you. You're the one that's like, oh, let's play a game called Apex Legends on the PlayStation. Oh yeah, I buy one, and who gets rid of their PlayStation? Hmm? Hmm?
Well, Kena reminds me of Beyond Good and Evil or
Hmm.
Kingdoms of Amalur.
Ah, yeah, that's it's another one of the games that popped up last year, I think, didn't it? It was like
Yeah.
it's the remake of from when it was in the PS3 and the Xbox 360 era. Yeah, again, this one could be the sleeper hit of the state of play and one that people should be looking more at because it's a single player game. It looks like it's got an interesting story and interesting fantasy aspect too. And again, a female lead, which has proven quite well in some games, like for example Tomb Raider and Horizon.
Mm.
So
Beyond Good and Evil as well.
Beyond Good and Evil, yeah, I think it can work if the characters are done right.
Mm.
So I would say Keen is probably one of these games to look out for.
Me too. And the last news, which was hyped for some but disappointed for many, that's
Ooh.
the Final Fantasy VII drop.
Oh yeah. What's the Final Fantasy VII incursion or something like, or inclusion
Something
or
like that,
something?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's Final Fantasy VII. We know you've been wanting the PS5 version. Oh, by the way, we're also showing off the DLC for Yuffie. Only if you have a PS5. It's like what? You've got like multi-million people out there with PS4 versions. It's like, yeah, by the way, here's an extra side story just to tie you on to part two's being made. But you need a PS5 for it. It's like, what?
It makes no
As
sense.
far as as far as I know, last time I checked, there's 6 million PlayStation 5s out there right now.
Mm.
6 million. And I guarantee that probably the people that own the PS5 do not have Final Fantasy 7 at 6 million. They're probably what, maybe 2 million at tops.
Mm.
Probably played Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which is a huge, shall I say, a shoot in the foot from Square. I don't understand why they've done this, Square Enix.
It makes
But,
sense to get people onto PS5 if you could actually buy PS5 in a shop right now.
oh yeah, yeah, that would make sense at all. I mean, totally. I mean, I know they're slowly starting to dribble back in, but again, news like this is forcing the scalpers to jump over right on board of them and says, well, if you want to play this, you need this,
Yeah,
and how much do you want to pay for it now? So it's weird. And then they go off and show that, oh, by the way, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, now in 4K, 60 hertz with a photo mode. Wow. I've played the remake. I enjoyed it, but it's not going to give me any reason to go back and play it because
to the frames.
I thought the frames are good, but I overall thought the remake was a slight little letdown. It was good to play, I remember getting it on my birthday last year. It was weird how she actually did it. It was I switched on the PlayStation. There it was. I'm like, yay, thank you. But I was expecting more because some of the trailers that they showed for Final Fantasy VII Remake, them trailers and clips never made it into that game.
Oh,
And I did a little research. And it did say this game was kind of, well, I wouldn't say stuck in development hell. It went through different directs, different
yeah,
phases. And I think some of these clips were from the previous
builds.
builds. And how it ends, I like how they've done it because it can kind of open up it to go anywhere they want. But I hope Part 2 does more like Final Fantasy 15 or The Witcher. It's got an open world kind of aspect as you would. I don't want it to be linear like it is in Part 1. So,
Well, you think Part 2, you'd be going out of Midgar, out into the
mm,
open, which you do in, well, not you don't do it well in the original because
no. Yeah,
how,
it's like a segue into the next segment. But of course, it was open world. You could explore the map.
yeah,
I mean, last year they teased like what was it now? They teased the first soldier and endless crisis, right? Which we now know what they are. But at the time, you could have called part two First Soldier because in the original, Cloud is explaining Sephiroth to everybody else, which they could have used part two as the title, the Final Fantasy VII remake, part two First Soldier,
mm.
and then they could have gone to part three Infinite Crisis because what happens in part three in this, a meteor starts coming down, which is causing an infinite crisis. So, and then Square end up announcing after the state of play, oh, by the way, here's the first soldier, a battle royale for Android phones. Yay. With summons as well, so I don't know how that's going to play out in the game. And then they also bring out Infinite Crisis, which is like Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII made into a portable device for Android. It's like, huh? You really are milking it now. And then the DLC as well. It's weird.
I've never played it. I'm waiting for the PC version.
I yeah, we just have to wait and see. There's still no announcements of PC version, but we know
Uh,
it's there. I think everybody knows it's behind the curtains and just waiting for to be revealed.
I mean, the year, I'm sure it was only a year exclusive deal, which is
Mm.
it's up soon.
Yeah, it's up in I think March, isn't it? Sometime in the March,
Yeah.
start of the new financial year. So we'll soon see. But speaking of PC games,
Oh yeah. More PC game, more PlayStation games coming to PC after the success of Horizon, and we're starting with Days Gone, which I never
ooh,
played properly. I played a demo.
yeah, I had it. I played a little bit of it, and it's got the nice aspect. But I think when it got released, it was on the hype of Sony's first party support. It was like we got God of War, Horizon, Spider Man, and then Days Gone. I think that's how it went. It was good, but it wasn't on the peak as the previous three. So
Mm,
it was like Sony's little chink in the armor on that seat. But the aspect I thought was quite good. You had to repair and upgrade your bike. You're driving around, taking out the
Freakers.
well, the infect freakers or the infect AI was, and then they showed off that the horde mode where all the freaks are charging at you, which is actually quite good. I sadly did not play much of it because at the time I was too busy. But a PC version could actually do it quite well. I mean, exact more frames, more better draw distance, uh, photo mode, maybe. Yeah,
Mm, I
could
like
be.
photo
I don't
mode.
know. Yeah.
After Days Gone, people have obviously made up a wish list of what they want to bring to PC, and a lot of thoughts are on Bloodborne.
Yeah. Which is a game I had or have because it's part of the PlayStation Plus lineup a few years back.
I bought it.
I remember. Well, what was your experience with it?
It's hard. I
You know what
mean,
to say? Get get good.
I started off because I didn't know what to do. So pretty much first hour, 2 hours tops, I was playing with no weapons.
Ooh.
So after I obviously found my weapon, I can't remember if you get it after you die first or that, but after I got my weapon, it was more enjoyable, but it was pretty hard.
Mm. I remember when I first played it, so a lot of people was like, "Oh, you should try the Souls games." First time I tried a Souls game was on the PS3. Was Demon Souls, I think it
Mm,
was. I didn't didn't get much in that,
me
and then I
neither.
tried Bloodborne. I was like, "Oh, okay, this I can see the aesthetics, gothic, hard, you know, demons or vampires or whatever." Honestly, I'm sorry if I'm kind of butchering this game. Viewers, you can feel free to leave a comment below and explain how I got it all wrong. I remember when I walked up to the first boss, and I was like, "Okay, so people have actually defeated this. It can't be that hard." Smacked me, and that half my health was gone. All that, yeah, okay, and then bang, dead. And I respawned in the city, and I was like, after the first, I played for a couple of hours, and I'm like, I'm not really making much progress here. I remember keep going to this little corner where I had this like big ogre boss. I wouldn't say ogre, but really big, like a mini boss kind of thing. So I knew you could farm him for a bit. So I tried farming him, and I was like, I've got a routine. And then I got a bit cocky, and then I got knocked on my ass. And I was like, I can see the appeal and being on the PC if it comes, maybe, hopefully, for our PC fans and Bloodborne fans. The extra frames could actually benefit the game,
Mm.
and mod support and whatever else can come with it.
I'd play it
But
again on PC.
I might give it another go, but I don't know even if it was cheap, maybe. Uh, but what else would you say would be on top of the people's wish list?
I'm not seeing much commentary apart from Bloodborne, but if I had to pick, I'd pick God of War. I'd platinum more. I'd get max achievements again on that, like I did with the PS4 version. Same again with Spider-Man. Got
Mm.
max achievements on that. Ghost of Tsushima gets a lot of
Oh yes.
votes.
Uh,
Ratchet and Clank, I'll play that again. And I've not played it yet because I saw my PS4 before it came out, but I would play The Last of Us 2.
I wouldn't bother. Yes, my fans, if any fans of viewers out there, Last of Us 10 out of 10, no chance. um, I've only played a little bit of Last of Us Part 2. I played this again with the first. I tried to get into it. It took me a while to finish it. And I could barely remember anything from the first one. It's weird.
I recall playing it, enjoying the story, but now I've not touched it for a couple of years. I can't remember anything apart from the start, the giraffe,
Mm.
and the ending. That's it.
I'm the same. I can remember the intro at the start, and then going through the rundown buildings, dodging the clickers. I remember that giraffe, and then the end. And I've only seen a little bit of Last of Us Part Two, and from what I've gathered, the story it just doesn't. I don't know, but one of my picks is what you just said would be Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, even though I've got a PS4 Pro, I'm still waiting. I want to experience that a bit of frames or when it comes down in price because I really use my PlayStation right now.
Mm,
So, but yeah, I hope. I don't know about the Ratchet and Clank because I think that's going to be like a major selling point for the PlayStation 5 right now. But I guess we have to wait and see on that one.
well, they could port over the old Ratchet and Clank that's free for PS4 users now to
Aye.
gauge excitement for the new one, which they sort of did for Horizon Dawn.
Yeah. There's still no word if that's even coming to PC, the second one.
I think it might be a couple of years before it does it.
Yeah. I mean, they could do. But I don't know about Spider Man though, because Sony is like really keeping hold of the Spider Man IP and is like, do you really want it seems like a kind of game they don't want to be outside of the PlayStation home just yet.
I think it's to do with money as well. I think because
Yeah.
not many people who, if you've got a PS4 and you've not got it yet, would you buy it now? If they port it to PC, there's a lot of people who play PC only who will buy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there's still very little reason to get these next gen consoles.
Yeah.
Is it worth picking up PS4? I would still say yes in a way because I've seen a lot of them come down right down in price. I mean, I was looking recently just on the off chance, and somebody was selling a PS4 with like 34 games. for 120 quid.
Jesus, that's cheap.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. It's like but I would say it's worth picking up. But sadly, an Xbox is a different story. It's weird.
I think. Don't know with consoles. I think because I've chosen PC, I put some money into it. I've to stick with one until
Aye.
later down the line. But then even that's questionable because if they're bringing more games to PC, I might as well just stick with what I've got.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm the same. I mean, I managed to nab a Series X over Christmas, which is, but now after using the Game Pass and sitting down and playing it, it's not been turned on for about 3 weeks now. It's just sitting there, this big rectangle underneath the TV. And I'll be more on the PC. I've also done other things, but I'm myself. I've kind of moved more onto PC. I mean, PC I built was built from scratch, even though I'm still yet to get hold of a 30k series RTX. One day I'll get one. Right now I'm stuck with a
3070.
show off. I'm still stuck with the well, it is a high end 2060s, so it is really it can still hold its frames about between 60 to 100. So for a card that old on the monitor I've got, it's still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But again, let's see if Sony do bring more PC games.
PlayStation games, PC.
Yeah, that's sorry. Yes, thank you. And maybe Epic could snap over some as well, because they seem to be grabbing a few exclusives on their PC platform.
That'll be. It won't be the same, but people will argue Steam versus Epic.
They always do.
I know.
I've got no problems.
I just like Steam because of the achievements and all my games are there already. I'd buy a game if it was cheap, like I did with Far Cry.
Yeah, but you've been getting the free Epic games. I know you have.
Oh, them as well. I've only ever bought one game, not only Far Cry 5 for a fiver with the Epic voucher you get occasionally.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about it. I've got a few games on Epic actually. I think my first one was actually Mech Warriors 5 from Epic because it was Epic exclusive at the time. And then they kind of keep throwing off these vouchers to use for sales. It's like, oh, fine, I'll keep using you if you give me free money. I know there's a little pros; it has to be over a set limit, but it's like even if it's over £10, they're like you get a £5 voucher, so you can essentially get it for a fiver anyway. So it's like, yeah, okay. And that's something Steam needs to do. You need to clear up your store and do better deals.
I think we've covered all that. So for our last story of the day is the Pokemon stuff. They released some more details about an update and 2 new games, I'd say, for definite.
Isn't this that the Generation 4 remake, which is something I didn't really take much interest in when I was growing up?
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl. Not a generation I fondly remember when I compare it to Red, Blue, Gold, Silver.
Yeah, Gold and Silver. That's where it peaked for me.
Definitely. I mean, from Blue and Red, they were brilliant games where it all started. Then Gold and Silver just did. Yeah, it does what a sequel should do. It gives you more stuff.
They didn't even. Yeah, sorry.
You had your original new town. Then you went back to Olden.
Yeah, Kanto
Yeah,
region.
Kanto.
Hoenn and Kanto region. It didn't even hint that at all.
No.
So there was no reveal in reviews or anything at the time. It was like, here's a new Pokemon game, go out and buy it, which I did. And then I was like playing along. I'm quite enjoying this day and night cycle, sort of night time, which they removed in Sapphire for some reason. I don't know why. And you defeat the Elite Four, and it's like, oh, by the way, you can go over to Kanto to do stuff there. Like, really? What?
Yeah, what more content than the next ones? If it was Ruby Sapphire?
Yeah.
It was just one place. That's it.
Yeah, it was like Gold and Silver hyped everything up to here. And then, for my experience, I remember picking up Sapphire, and I had a choice in Sapphire or Shenmue 2 at the time. And I picked Sapphire. And it was like, Gold and Silver, my expectation was up here. And then when I started playing Sapphire, I think it went,
yeah.
It was like, what happened? Yeah, it was like the Game Boy cartridge was about yay big and they were so small. They couldn't hold much, and you got 2 full games roughly in there, and yet you got a Game Boy Advance cartridge about what about that big maybe, I don't know, about yay big or
Yeah.
so, little rectangle things, and it's like half the game. It's like what? What happened?
Playing the visuals, no doubt they'll playing the visuals being updated.
Yeah, like they did with Sword and Shield.
Oh, Sword and Shield, that game that killed Pokemon for me. Came
Yeah,
out, they held back the Pokemon and made some stupid excuse.
aye. Which is we've animated them better, have you now? Okay, let's find out.
No.
And it was like 2 games in one because it had that original aspect where you running around the towns and batting trains. Then you had the open world one.
The wild area.
Yeah, the wild area, which is like, hey, this is pretty good. I can see this is where they're going. And then when you finish with wild area, it kind of forces you to go on back to your explore. Well, I won't say exploring, but following the story. And it was like, I'm bored. I want to go back to the wild area. Let me go back there, which you can do. But this is where this Legends of what's it called now? Arceus?
I want to say Arceus. 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 So we'll say
Yeah.
how it looks. Arceus.
Arceus, that's it. So and then they're kind of like thrown in the open world aspect of that, and it's like, ooh, you're teasing me again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show much else. It just shows you sneaking about in the wildlands, throwing a Pokeball, and doing battles. But they did that with Sword and Shield as well.
I watched it again last night. And
Aye.
the battling does look better.
It does look better. So they might have learned their lesson, right? Because I didn't watch it, but I did watch something else, which we'll talk about shortly. And then they've got that looks good, but that's not till 2022 or something like that, isn't it?
Early.
So, yeah. And then they've got this chibi art style of Diamond. What's it? Brilliant Diamond or something like that?
I think it's that and Shiny Pearl. I'm sure it's that.
I can see where they're going with because the remakes of Gold and Silver was Soul Silver and Heart Gold, which kind of goes well together. But I think they should have called it like the perfect diamond because a diamond is perfect.
Yeah.
You want a diamond on a perfect diamond. But brilliant diamonds, like, huh? Okay. And shiny pearl, yay! But I know we're going to get some hate for this.
No,
I've got a feeling there's Gen 4 fans out there, and I can't even remember any Gen 4 names. I honestly can't.
Palika, if that's even sounds right. He's one of the legendaries. Looks like Godzilla.
Yeah, it's like I know the one you mean now. I can think of the look. And then you got that weird like spiky horse creature. Again, I don't know the names.
No.
I remember playing it. I do remember playing it because it was on the DS, and it was like, yeah, let's get it for DS, and because they had in the little mini games and everything, and they had this water type Pokemon as well. Because I always pick water type for some reason. Don't know why, I just do. And again, I think it's because at the time with the DS, I think it was like we were aging. It's just something we just didn't really appeal because I think we were just more playing Mario Kart and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very forget. I think there's too many as well. How many Pokemon is there?
Oh, let's count them out. I'm not counting all the Pokemon. No way. That's probably I'm reaching what 1,000 or something.
The Pokemon rap.
No chance.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just getting a bit, and they're all looking. There's some that look the same, or they just look silly.
And yeah, speaking of silly, it's the chibi style that they've done with the Pokemon. The remake of Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl. I can see because chibi style is big in Japan. And it's to attract kids because it looks cute. But an adult in our age, I know there's adults that play it still, and you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the open world one because I want to see my ideal of a Pokemon game. I know will never happen because I would like a nice open world game, but have the fighting style from Pokéken, what do we call it?
Oh, that Tekken / Pokemon game.
Yeah, because a turn-based one is okay if you got the type advantage. So, say for example, you throw out a Pikachu, I throw out a Golem. You ain't going to stand a chance. It's like goodbye with one shot. That's it. Where a game like Pokémon, like the battle system, you could maybe stand a chance because you could dodge the attacks, you can then
Yeah.
fight back, slowly weaken down your opponent. And like have like a Souls kind of combat system, you got to stay focused because if you lose your focus, then that's it. You kind of got to lose that fight. But again, that'd be something aimed at adults, where Pokemon sadly isn't.
No. Look,
It
well,
look,
it's been. That's why it's so synonymous with Nintendo. It's kids.
aye, and again, I'm not sure. After, like I said, with Sword and Shield, I'm curious more about Legend of Arceus
Yeah.
than actually the remake of Gen 4. So
Yeah, I'll be missing out on that. I'll maybe pick up Arceus with more information. But
yeah,
one game I do think I'll pick up is Pokemon Snap.
I recently watched the little video clip this morning. And I thought, hey, that looks actually not too bad. And but there's one thing I thought a bit strange because when you take Pokemon, a picture of Pokemon, which are pre-animated, so they've got pre-routines and that lot, and you can upload them onto their like, little service. How? But all the photos are going to look the same because the Pokemon's always going to say they're going to repeat the same kind of animation. So
Yeah, maybe they might have figured it out. I mean,
maybe
algorithm. Yeah,
I know you can put filters and stickers and all that lot into it,
yeah.
but it does look like a fun little game. And I
It's,
think it's due out on the 30th of April. I think it was the
well,
reveal for it.
yeah.
So
I mean, it looks fun. I mean, I've
aye.
started enjoying using photo mode in games that support it, like
Mm,
Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a proper photo mode. Did
aye.
that. Star Wars Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
I must have
I've tinkered with it.
I must have filled quite a big section of my memory on my Switch with Zelda when I first played it
Aye, I can imagine that. I mean,
because that game looked nice.
the last game I messed around with photo mode was actually Death Stranding. You can do some really nice photo effects with that.
It's one game I ain't played yet.
It's on my Steam. Go play it. But yeah, I can see photo mode being interesting, but I'm more worried, like I said, when it comes to sharing because you might see the same photo 3 or 4 times,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm a bit worried about. I mean, if you say if your son or daughter's playing it and they're like, "Oh, I've got this nice photo," and they've filtered it up, and then they put it on they try to share it, and then somebody's done the same but made it slightly better and get all the views, they'll feel a bit. "Huh?"
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm more worried about. It's like you put all the effort in, and you might not get noticed because it's the same kind of photo.
uh,
But it looks good because from the trailer I've seen, it's showing more of you got like a night theme, which is always good.
hmm,
And you got an underwater theme as well, so you can go underwater and you can cross the desert, you cross jungles. So it does seem like they're enhancing it. And for an for a game that originated on the N64 of all things, it's taken so long for a sequel to turn up.
yeah. It's not nice change of pace as well because you just don't want to play a intense multiplayer game on like Apex or a
Right.
story game when you just want to sit back, get a good score on a photo game, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, which is pretty much what the Switch is designed for. I know Apex is coming to the Switch. I'm gonna feel sorry for the Switch players, really, but it's uh, it's more designed for something like Pokemon Snap. More like a pick up, you can relax with it, and it's nice to see. Like I said, a game dated back to the N64, which is what 1997 or so when it first came out,
But
and
yeah,
so it's a good while ago. And then now to get the sequel, which is pretty good because they did tease it even in Pokemon Go. They had like a snap function as well. That hey, this is the sequel to Pokemon Snap, and fans were like, no, it's not. We want a true one, and which is quite a nice reveal. So I think out of these 3 games, I think Snap is probably the one I'm more interested in playing myself. Actually,
me too. And that's it for Pokemon, and that's it for our podcast this week, guys and girls. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that business, and we'll see you next time.
bye for now.
Bye for now.